I caught my dad cheating on my mom, and when he found out, he tried to choke me. Grab your snacks, grab everything, because this is gonna get juicy. When this happened, it was a Sunday, so my grandma, which is the mom of my dad, she ended up visiting from Mexico, right? And she's a very, very religious lady. So every Sunday, my mom and my brothers and all of us, we would go to church, except for my dad, right? Well, this particular Sunday, I did not feel good, like at all. I was having fever, I was having cough, you name it. I ended up staying because my grandma was like, you know what, it's okay, like let her stay. My mom and my grandma and my brothers, they all left, right? My dad was not home yet. He was like out getting beer because he was an alcoholic. So my dad knew that every Sunday we were gone because we were at church, and we would church for at least like 1 hour, and then after that we usually go to eat. I heard him get home, and he had his friend with him because he was living with us at the time, this friend, and out of nowhere this woman comes out of the car, and my window, I could see outside, so I was seeing everything. Like my dad was outside, his friend was outside. This woman was also a girlfriend of one of my uncles at the time, but my uncle was not there. My dad proceeds to compliment her, saying, oh, you're so beautiful, I wish you were my girlfriend. He proceeded to say, no one's home, we could go into my room and no one will have to know. But little did he know, I was home and I was seeing everything outside of my window. Even that, she was willing to go inside, but then she backed out. Not only that, but this skank was basically teasing him. She was pulling down her bottoms and showing him, let's say, booty cheeks. I was enraged, okay? Because not only was he doing that, but literally my mom was out with his mom, bonding with her. And he proceeded to keep saying little comments like, oh, I wish we could do it in my room, nobody's home, or whatever. Eventually, the woman said, okay. So my dad was like, okay, let me just clean up the room a little bit, and I'll go to the restroom and I'll come back. So me, obviously, I'm not gonna let that happen, of course. So he comes in the restroom, right? And I wait for him to get out of the restroom. And as soon as he gets out, I get out of my room and I start yelling at him. I start telling him, why are you doing that? I'm like cussing him out in Spanish and English, both, because he was bilingual. So I was cursing him out, and y'all should have seen his face. His face was blank. Like, she heard everything. I'm gonna get in trouble. I was scared because his face, he looked at me like if he really wanted to do something to me. I ran into my room because I couldn't go through the front door or the back door, and I locked it. He ran after me and he was trying to get into my room very forcefully. He almost even broke my door. And eventually I did end up opening the door because he said that he just wanted to talk to me. I was super scared that he was gonna break down my door and do something so much worse. But he did end up talking to me and telling me, oh, like, I'll give you money for you not to tell anything to your mom. And then after I said no, he proceeded to say, well, what you heard was wrong. And then that's when I started cussing him out again. I said, I know what I heard. I was there. Literally, I saw everything through my window. And he proceeded, bring her inside the house so she can be the one to tell me, no, you're just exaggerating. You never saw anything. Nothing happened. And obviously, I cursed that woman out. Eventually, she did leave because I did not want to talk to her, of course. Tried to play it safe. So I was like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna tell my mom. Like, yeah. I did that so he could leave me alone. I ended up leaving. Ran away because I was so scared. I ended up calling my mom. She did not pick up because it doesn't matter who's calling her. If she's in church, she's not gonna answer whatsoever. I did end up calling a friend, and that friend did pick me up and took me to her place. Once my mom found out that I was calling her like nonstop, she ended up calling me and she was like, hey, what's wrong? And I did end up telling her like, hey, my dad was doing this. And she said, okay, we'll talk to him. Like, you're gonna be there with me and I'm gonna confront him. So I ended up leaving with my mom. I come into the house with my mom. My dad was laying in bed. He was like, I guess sleeping, and my mom came in and she was like, well, why is she telling me that she caught you cheating and you were trying to do something with a woman? And obviously he did not react good. As soon as he heard that from my mom, he got up really quick, like jumped at me and tried to choke me. Thank God that my mom pulled me, because I don't know what would have happened if he actually got his hands on me. Obviously, my mom and my dad, they went back and forth about what was going on. And the worst part is that after that happened, my mom didn't leave him until like a couple more months after that. I ended up being really mad at my mom for not leaving him, and I never really talked to him after that. I usually just stayed in my room after that happened because I was genuinely scared of him. But I am glad that he is no longer in our lives. Trauma!
Currently reflecting on the time that I had a crush on this guy in college that was on the swim team, and I wrote for the school paper, the sports section, because I'm just like so sporty. And I told my professor, we need to write an article about the swim team stat, because they're gonna think that we hate them because we never write articles about them. Like, okay, great idea. Do you have anything in mind? And I was like, yes, a player profile specifically on this one guy, because look at his stats. He's so talented. And my professor was like, absolutely perfect. I love the initiative. Go do it right now. I email the coach and I get my crush's phone number, and we set up an interview, and I record the whole thing because that's what journalists do. Journalistic integrity, you know what I mean? To like check the quotes and stuff. And also mostly because I wanted something that we could play at our wedding. Then I proceeded to write the greatest article of all time, because I was like, well, if I write an amazing article and impress him with my brain, he will have no choice but to fall in love with me probably. Also, in the meantime, I was being like flirty and asking questions with like little cute emojis, trying to change the subject off of the article. Not very journalistically integrity like of me, but anyway. Then I sent him the article once it's published, and I'm like, hey, here's the article. So enjoyed writing it, and I so enjoyed getting to know you. Smiley face. And the wait time between my sending and his response, I was like, I'm gonna like crumble into a pile of dust if he doesn't respond soon. And finally he replies, hey Paige, thank you so much for sharing the article. My girlfriend and I really enjoyed it. Why did I write a player profile on you? That should have been one of the interview questions. You have a girlfriend. But anyways, my girlfriend and I really enjoyed it.